日本時間5月31日、ドジャースの大谷翔平選手は、本拠地で行われたヤンキース戦に1番 DH で先発出場をしました。昨季のワールドシリーズ以来の再戦ということもあり、現地メディアも試合前から大盛り上がり。この日の試合は、初回にヤンキースのジャッジ選手がいきなり19号先制本塁打を放つ華々しい幕開けでスタート。この本塁打に大谷選手もすぐさま応戦。大谷選手は1回裏の第1打席で打球速度 105.5 マイル、約170キロ、飛距離417フィート、約127メートル、角度31度の21号先頭打者アーチを放ちました。初回からジャッジ選手と大谷選手の本塁打合戦に現地実況も思わず、なあウェイン、こんなの見てスポーツを好きにならずにいられるか？野球ってロマンそのものだよな。というか、もはや彼は人間なのか？と大興奮のコメント。さらに大谷選手は2対5の6回裏に打球速度は 112.5 マイル、約181キロ、飛距離383フィート、約117メートル、角度は42度の22号ソロ本塁打を放ちました。この本塁打に現地実況は、偉大さだ。まさに偉大さ。それだけさ。まさに手がつけられない存在だよ。と大熱狂のコメントをしました。大谷選手はこの本塁打で5月の月間本塁打が自己最多で球団記録にも並ぶ15本に。ここからはジャッジ選手と大谷選手の本塁打共演で盛り上がりを見せた大興奮の現地実況の様子を見ていきます。
This rematch, we welcome in senior MLB writer Buster Olney. All right, Buster, so odds makers believe that we will see a World Series rematch come fall. LA is plus 150, and New York is plus 225 to win their respective pennants. The last time we saw a rematch in the World Series was 1977 and 78, with the Yanks and the Dodgers meeting there too. I know you were alive then, right, Matt Berry?
What year was that?
77,
yeah,
78.
December of 78. Yeah.
Okay. Buster, why will these teams be back in the World Series starting with the Yankees?
Yeah, Christine, if the Yankees get there, they win the World Series, it's going to be because their new guys are thriving. You remember last winter, after Juan Soto chose the Mets' $765 million offer over the Yankees' $760 million offer, the Yankees pivoted quickly. They signed Max Fried, who has been the best pitcher in the American League so far, with the best ERA at 1.29. They made a deal for Cody Bellinger with the Chicago Cubs. He has helped their defense dramatically. Paul Goldschmidt signed to a free agent contract. He's merely hitting .347. He also is helping a Yankee defense that is much better. And at the anchor of the Yankees is Aaron Judge, right? Having one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen, batting .391 with 18 homers so far this year. Look, he's got an adjusted OPS plus of 244. That's better than Ted Williams when Williams hit over 400 in 1941 at 235. So Aaron Judge is doing unbelievable stuff this year. And if the Dodgers win, it's going to be because of this incredible offense. It's led by 3 Hall of Famers at the top. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman. Freeman hitting .359 so far this year. And the supporting cast doing great too. Will Smith hitting .338. Look, the depth of the Dodger offense, if they can overcome some of their pitching issues, will lead them, I think, to the title. They're second in the major leagues in runs scored.
And what about Shohei as a pitcher? When might we expect that?
Yeah, so he's probably still 2 months away, Matt. He's still ramping up his pitch count. And look, they're going to need him at some point because they've just been absolutely ravaged by injuries this year. Shohei last Sunday on the mound at Citi Field, he was clocked up to 97 miles per hour. But I think the Dodgers would be thrilled if he came back and rejoined that rotation sometime after the All-Star break.
And that's what makes him maybe one of the best players of all time. Even if he's not on the mound, he's one of the best batters we've seen of all time in recent memory. And speaking of that, Buster, if there's one thing that could derail the Dodgers and this lineup and a threat to the World Series, what might that be?
all those pitching injuries they've suffered so far this year. Look, think about this. As we're speaking right now, the Dodgers lead the major leagues in bullpen innings. That's typically like a title held by the Colorado Rockies or the Chicago White Sox, but Blake Snell is out, Tyler Glasnow's out. Right now, Yoshinobu Yamamoto is really propping up this staff to a high degree. He's got the best ERA in the National League. But behind that, they've had all kinds of issues with guys going down, including with their relief corps. Their staff ERA is 4.09. The Dodgers are 21st out of 30 teams in ERA. That is not typical for the Dodgers, as you know.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good one. Buster, by the way, I just want to thank you for being on time because you were here before the show started. Perk was a little bit late. We got him for that. You can catch Buster on the broadcast for Sunday Night Baseball from Dodger Stadium. Thank you.
Baseball guys.
But let's talk about Shohei Ohtani. There's always been a lot of hubbub right now, Tom, about the fact he's been throwing a little bit, hopefully back pitching in the second half of the season, maybe after the All-Star break. But you've noticed something different about Ohtani this late in his career.
Yeah, what a great base runner he is. Now, listen, it's a product, scoring runs product of your offense around you. I get that. But he's a leadoff hitter with extra base power, with speed, and now he's really cleaned up his base running. That's hard to say because he's always been a great runner. But it was Dino Evil, the third base coach, who challenged him late last season and said, you know, you could be better as a base runner. The secondary jumps, the reads on some balls, and I think you're showing that. This is a guy who has not made it out on the bases this year. And check this out here. He has scored more runs than team games played this year. I don't know that that's sustainable, but I'm saying he's got a shot to get more than 154 runs, which we have not seen in almost 90 years. I mean, I love the fact that he is leading off. You know, he went there when Mookie was hurt last year, and he just thrived in that position. You know, he's a threat, as we saw in Cleveland the other day, twice hit home runs first time up. I just think this guy continues to amaze us in so many different ways. For me, this year, it's his base running.
Well, what's going to get in the way of that is when he gets back on the mound. You feel like he's going to start shutting down that, taking that extra base. Like, you know, for example, there's a number of the extra base taken percentage. He was, you know, off the charts. Last couple of years has been off the charts. And obviously last year, you mentioned, you know, taking advantage of not having to be off the mound. So what does he do? Goes and swipes 50 plus.
Yeah.
I just feel like once he gets back on the mound, that's going to skew a little bit. And also, too, I'm curious how they're going to have this lineup. Is he going to be in the leadoff position, you know, when he's back pitching as well? Because not just the days he's pitching, the next day, recovery day, everything else, I think that might hinder a little bit what he does on the bases.
I'm glad you mentioned the pitching, because there's been some talk about whether or not Ohtani should even be pitching because he's so valuable to the team as a hitter. And my point to that is they've had 11 guys in the IL. They need him to pitch. He was fourth in Cy Young voting 3 years ago. If you take away the pitching from Ohtani, that's part of what makes him so special, what drives him. Tom spoke about his competitiveness, his passion. Ron, you got to let the guy pitch when he's ready to go.
Absolutely. And again, you ask him, he's going to be like, look, I'm doing both. He takes so much pride in that. That is for sure. I mean, the minute he came to the United States, I think he pitches. And if you were in a situation where you said, hey, look, we're going to take this away from your game, you're only going to hit, I guarantee you, it would affect him. It really would. But look, let him pitch, man. When he's on the bump, he's one of the best.
100%, I agree. You saw that video there. He's like a little kid out there.
Yeah.
He's finally on the mound facing live hitters, and he was like he was 12 years old, right? And that's the way he approaches the game. He wants to be the best player on the planet, both pitching and hitting.
Yeah.
Don't take that away from him. What you do is you backdate it from the World Series. They want this guy for that 7th month and make sure, I don't know how many starts he's going to make, but if it's after the All-Star break, which is probably right around the break, maybe a little bit after it, he should be fine to be stretched out to give you 6 innings come October. That's the bottom line here.
That baseball back.
And there's a fly ball hit to center field, hit way back, and this one's not going to come back either. Aaron Judge starts off this World Series rematch with a blast.
Mama, there go that man again. What did I tell you? You make...
Judge says, your turn, champ.
That's what we all here for, baby. I love it.
Judge homered in his first at-bat in this World Series rematch. Now Shohei Ohtani stands in. But not homer in the World Series. He was kind of bothered by that shoulder throughout the World Series last year, but he got his first ring. And now he hits one left center field. It's Judge 1, Ohtani 1.
could not love sports, Wayne? How's not baseball romantic? We're going to be here all night, Weezy. You ain't making that red eye. Greatness. Greatness. Simple.
In the first inning in Game 1 in this World Series rematch.
The intensity is
seen in May. He's the only man ahead of Judge. Is he even a man? We're not. The immediate answer from Judge to Shohei.
As soon as that ball was barreled, I looked at Grisham to see how much room he had. He gave 2 glances and then held up, and all of a sudden we got a tie ball game, just like that.
Season over 170 that we have not seen since Babe Ruth. What a shot from the spectacular Shohei in the first inning tonight. And presented by Sage after Shohei Ohtani homered in the first. Max Fried struck him out in the third.
Yeah, he started him off with the cutters, obviously, but he was able to get back into the zone with the fastball down, but he continued to want to attack Shohei with that cutter. A little front hip action locked him up last time, so 1-1 thus far in the battle between Shohei Ohtani and Max Fried.
The battle of the reigning MVPs, a World Series rematch tonight. And Shohei leading off the bottom of the 6th, taking ball 1 from Max Fried. 21 home runs for Ohtani is the major's leader in that category. 4th MVP award seems in sight. Only Barry Bonds made it to 4 MVP wins, although Bonds ended up with 7. I'll give Shohei time. He's still only 30. 2 balls and no strikes on Ohtani, who is working his way back also to pitching again at some point this year. Possibility that he'll face live hitters again tomorrow. And work at least 1 more innings worth of simulation tomorrow.
He tried to leave Earth right there.
He was trying to put that ball in a flight simulator.
Hit that ball back to Pasadena. Ahead in the count, got the bigger breaking ball.
2 balls and 1 strike on Shohei Ohtani. Fried behind him now, 3-1. Even with the Yankees 4 homers tonight, the fact that Tony Gonsolin kept the Dodgers in this game means they're in striking distance here. 3rd time through the order against Fried, although this is normally when he's at his best. He has so many weapons. 3 balls and a strike. And Shohei, it's a high fly, right field. Judge is all the way back. He's at the wall. He leaps. It's gone. Number 2 tonight for the spectacular Shohei. Touch first, and then touch a ball.
Truly fun to watch, Wayne, and this is how strong he is. He didn't get all that baseball. That's why the fly ball was so high. But because of the strength and the bat speed, still strong enough to muscle up another home run. Let me tell you something, Wayne. It's been a World Series type field today in this ball game. The energy, the crowd has been in it all day long. It's been fun.
As Ohtani is hit his 2nd home run tonight. 5 homers allowed by Fried this year, 4 to left-handed batters.
Finally got the cutter. Max Fried was attacking him with that front hit cutter, and all of a sudden got enough barrel. If Aaron Judge at 6'7" can't get that alley-oop, nobody's going to get that one. Shohei had to make sure touch first is a big...
Yeah, here with Shohei Ohtani and his translator, Will Ireton. Thank you, Will. Aaron Judge hits a home run. Your first at bat, first pitch, you go deep. How much fun going toe-to-toe with another MVP?
ジャッジがホームラン打って、その後初打席で初球ホームラン打って、お互い MVP がこうやって打ち合うっていうのは楽しいですか？そうです。もちろん両チームにとっていいスタートにはなったと思うので、試合全体通して本当にいいゲームだったなというか、勝ち負けはもちろんはっきりしますけど、全体通して両チームとも素 素晴らしいゲームだったなと思います。
It was a really good start to the game. You know, it was a back and forth between two really good teams, and I'm glad that we came out at the top.
You have been especially dialed in since your daughter was born. 2 home runs tonight. You have some extra dad strength in there?
2打席、ホームラン打って、父親のパワーっていうのが何か出てきてるんですかね。
そうですね、生活のリズムにはもちろん慣れてはきてますけど、まだシーズンも半分もいってないので、一戦一戦本当に大事にしながら、また明日切り替えて連勝できるように頑張りたいなと思います。
I feel like I have a pretty good rhythm with my new lifestyle, but you know, we're still really not even in the middle part of the season, so I'm just really focused on one game at a time.
You continue your assault on the record books, constantly setting new marks. Are you sure you want to come back to the mound and pitch? Because offensively, you're so locked in.
もうすごいバッティング調子良くて、もう本当にピッチングに戻りたいんですかねと。
明日ライブある予定なので、ゲームがもう終わってますし、今はもう明日のライブ BP に向けて、しっかりコンディション整えたいなと思ってます。
I have a live BP that I'm going to pitch in, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really switching my gear and focus on that for tomorrow.
What is your timeline for your return? When can we expect you back on a mound?
いつ戻ってきますか？
マンドゥルに聞いてくれれば僕はちょっとわからないので。GM に聞いてください。
If you could ask Andrew Freeman, he would probably know.
How much fun are you having with this Dodgers team?
このドジャースのチームどのぐらい楽しんでますかと今の。
もちろん去年優勝できましたし、また連覇に向けて今年もみんな高い目標を持って頑張っているので、それに刺激されて自分自身もいいパフォーマンスが出ているのかなと思います。
We won a championship last year, and that's our goal this year again. So I'm really having a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Shohei. Arigato.
ありがとうございました。
Obviously, you have a little bit more climbing to do after the Shohei home run in the 6th, but did it feel like a momentum swing when he hit the home run against Freed in the 6th?
It did. It just kind of, I think for me, it's, you're obviously trying to win the game, but you want to keep the game close to make them use leverage guys. And Teo rode out a ball. Will Smith had a hit. Freddie did what Freddie does. And I just really like the Pages at bat.
I know Otani's kind of indicating everybody, but the fact that it was the Yankees, do you think that?
You know what, I think with Shohei, and he would probably say it's just like any other game, but I do think that when you're seeing the reigning MVP on the other side and going out there and performing, that brings out even that even more of a competitor in Shohei, and obviously, brought a lot of excitement from the fans.
It had been so sharp all season long. What was different about his stuff tonight?
Yeah, I don't think he had as good breaking ball going tonight. And then that inning just left some pitches in the heart of the plate to, some really good hitters there. Fell behind Shohei, and he gets them. I thought Teoscar did a good job. I think might have been a changeup that he just kind of punched the other way, and then Smith gets him back through the middle, and then it looked like a sinker right middle down to Freddie. So just a rough inning where some good hitters, got to him.
Freed not the only one that's had trouble with Shohei Ohtani. What makes him such a good hitter?
Well, I mean, he's just, massive power, controls the strike zone, but about as dangerous as anyone with, just his athleticism and just power to all field.
After the first inning, Judge and Ohtani, Judge makes a great catch. Tony hits another homer. Two of the greatest players put on a show. You're in the middle of a game, but you kind of look back and say, wow, that's a great show by two great players.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly marvel at, some of the players on this field tonight, certainly. I mean, there's a number of just MVPs and all-star, just great players. And, Judgy obviously had a great game with the homer and the double and an outstanding play in the gap. And so, some of the stars really shone tonight.
How much do you look at the guy on the other side and Shohei Ohtani and try to kind of match him and what he's doing? You hit the home run, he hits the home run, you hit a double, making some plays in the outfield.
I feel like he was copying me. I started no, it's just, he's impressive. He's one of the best players in the game for a reason. What he can do in the box, on the base path, once he gets back on the mound, it's special. But it's really just about two good ball clubs going after it, and we weren't able to come away with a win there, but we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Is there extra excitement at all when it's MVP versus MVP as a kind of a sideshow to Yankees Dodgers?
Try not to think about it. I got a job to do on the field. I got to make plays. Score some runs for the team. You try not to get too hyped into that. That's for you guys to do, and I got a job to do on the field.
What impresses you most about Shohei?
Just the consistency. Year after year, continue to go up there and put up the numbers he does every single at bat. You don't know if he's gonna rip a ball to me in right field, or if he's gonna take a Max Fried first pitch heater opposite field like that. It's just impressive what he can do. Just consistently day in and day out. Shows up. He's out there for his team doing his thing. So I think just the consistency over the years.
His second home run was rather high, but I guess you realized right away that it was going to be close to out.
Yeah, I thought I had a chance off the bat. I was like, okay, this is going to be one at the wall or rob it. But then it, just either the way he spun it or what happened, just kept carrying out. So that's why he's one of the best home run hitters out there, and he gets them all. It doesn't matter how far he hits it or how short he hits it. They all count the same. So that was a tough one right there. But like I said, we had some opportunities to capitalize there late and just couldn't get it done.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。